Welcome to the OffSec. So first, could everyone go to attendance.offsec.club to do the attendance because we will need for the VApp deploy. And so first, Shane will be talking about some CTF stuff here soon, and after that, I'll be talking about the scanning. So I think it's right here. Okay. Hello. Kim's wasn't even on. Okay, so I pranked you. You thought this was a scanning meeting. I'm actually going to talk about CTFs for about 10 minutes. So if you don't know what a CTF is, it stands for Capture the Flag. You may have played this in Call of Duty if you're a degenerate. So I'm going to talk about 3 cool cyber things that I think are pretty neat. And then I'm going to, whatever. Okay, here's number 1. So this is a Pwn-to-Own event, and these 2 people, Ahmad Kama and Richard Zhu, they're a team called Fluoracetate, and they, using their magic Pwn skills, made the onboard browser in the Tesla pop up a little thing. That's crazy, right? Right. Can I get some yeses? Yeah. Thank you. So anyway, for this, they got to keep the car, and in the same competition, they won $400,000-ish just for doing that. So that was cool. Here's the second cool thing. This is a team from Tencent, Keen, which is like the biggest Chinese company that makes software and spyware. And they gave a presentation on hacking the baseband of a phone. So this picture sucks. I took a screenshot of a YouTube video. But imagine if you had your phone and you connected to a cellular tower and you were just like insta-popped, like your phone's just gone. Like you don't control it anymore. I think that's pretty neat. And that's what their presentation is on. And the third thing I think is cool is the DARPA Cyber Grand Challenge from 2015 or 16. And this team is Shellfish. They placed 3rd with their Mecha Fish. The challenge was you get a bunch of binaries and then you just auto hack. So they can't touch it. It's hands off. And those little boxes right there are each of the teams because they need like mega water cooling. So what do these seemingly different things have in common? Well, first of all, does anyone have any questions about the three things? Does this make sense? Like what they are? Okay, cool. So what they have in common is CTFs. Crazy. So Ahmad Kama from the first one started with actually Shellfish, the 3rd team, in 2012. So that's how he got a start in security. That's how he got epic skills, was CTF. The second one, I can't pronounce his name, but the baseband exploit guy was a CTF player and is current captain for the top 2 Chinese teams. And then Jan in Shellfish was the last one, does a ton of stuff with CTF. So these 3 seemingly disconnected cool things, like how did they get good? The answer seems to be doing stuff, and the answer to doing stuff is playing CTFs. So I'm trying to sell you that playing CTFs is a good way to get better, and then with your better skills, you can do cool things, is the idea. And it's also just fun, right? If you're playing and you're not having fun doing it, then you shouldn't be playing. But hopefully it's fun. So here's the ground plan for getting good, quote unquote. You do school, right? They tell you some things. Awesome. Side projects, you do things that you're more interested on, maybe Linux, I don't know. And then CTFs are just kind of like, they shotgun challenges at you, and you don't have to do any thinking. You just solve them, right? It's like no motivation, no brain required. You just solve. And then it's like you magically get better at cyber things. So what are the challenges like? So this presentation is obviously targeted at people who have never heard of CTF. So here's a string, encrypted flag, and then it's just what is it? Thank you. It is the flag. So people who have done a bunch of CTFs before will probably think that's a Caesar cipher or ROT13. So here are 2 ways you can solve that. This is the bottom, the flag, and here are 2 tools that you could use to do it. The left one is some random website, and then the right one is CyberChef. If you're doing anything with like MISC challenges, you're going to see CyberChef a lot. So the gimmick here is that they take each letter and then they just woof it 13 letters over. So S becomes F, Y becomes L, etc., etc. And legend has it that Caesar of Rome or whatever used this to encrypt messages to his horse people. I don't know a lot about history. Second thing, what the heck is this? Looks like a hash. Incorrect, but good thought. Any takers otherwise? What is it? Please. It is a string. Okay. What kind of string? Whoa, okay, this man in the front, some kind of genius, he says it's base 64, which is correct. So you see this, you should know it's base 64 if you've done things like this before because of some characteristics. A through Z, lowercase, A through Z, uppercase, 1 through 9, plus and slash. If you see those characters slapped together, you know it's base 64. And this is kind of the gimmick that you would only see if you do CTFs or really anything about encoding. So who cares, right? So that's just a Wikipedia screenshot about like, how does it work? Haha, yeah. It's meant for encoding any bytes in letters. That's what base 64 is. And that's me decoding it with base 64 on that command line. You can also use CyberChef. But who cares, right? So here's an example from a live overflow video. Just by knowing that base 64 exists and what it looks like, let's say you were playing Clicker Heroes for iOS and you wanted to export your data. You export it and you see this big block. Does it look familiar? Yes, yes it does. Yes. It's base 64. So if you take that and decode it and do some garbage, you see that it's actually just JSON, and that holds the state of your game. So you take this big string, which is human readable, right? Like seed, num uses, those are English almost. You can just take that, edit it, make it base 64 again, import it, and then you can get your rubies. That's like how many V-Bucks? I don't know. But anyway, that's how these kinds of pieces of knowledge can hook together, and that's how CTF can be useful, if you call that useful. So why would you play CTFs with us? So DSU, Wild West Hacking Fest, woohoo! That was last week, and we won. We also placed 13th. We had 2 teams or more. We had 3 teams. Sorry, the third people. And we won, so that was cool. Anyway, that's our CTF write-ups. If you want to read more on that, that's the CTF time team. If you want to request entrance, but that's kind of what we're doing here. And that's an article I just think is funny. It says CyberClout. Yup. All right, so more on CTFs. And I'll have more details about how to get involved later. You have a couple categories. Number 1, RE. Number 2, Pwn. 3, Web. 4, Forensics. 5, MISC. There are no details for MISC because there's nothing to say. Reverse engineering, you get binaries. Like, you GCC something, and then you get just magic. It's taking that and then going the other direction. Pwn is taking that and then making it pop a shell for you or do something. And then web, you've obviously used websites. Yeah. So I'll have a web challenge at the end for a small prize. You may be wondering, how do I get started? The only way to learn how to do it is to actually do it. So I recommend doing it. If you want to start somewhere and you want a link, I would suggest Bandit over the wire. That'll show you how to basically use Linux beyond just LS and show how to use documentation, which is super handy. Also join Hackbox. And then if you poke around a bunch of stuff, you see what's interesting. You can try, if you want to be web lord, like there's some people at our school who do bug bounty on the side, and that's a really cool hobby. You can try NAT tests by the same people, or you want to be a Pwn expert. We have some of those too. You can try any of those random links I pasted there. Some of them are more entry level than others. Just poke around and see what works for you. And if you want to be a MISC expert, try something else. All right. Concrete next steps. Pico CTF is a really good one. They're run by CMU, Carnegie Mellon, and they run year round. So you can just try challenges there. Doesn't matter. The intro ones will be just like the one I gave you earlier. You can join this Discord if you want. That's the kernel poppers one. If you ever see people in there, you can always just hop in, ask them how they're doing. There's also a CTF channel on Slack. Watch YouTube videos, etc., etc. So I would say, reiterating, just try to actually start doing things if you're interested. All right, here's a challenge. Begin. And here are the $20. I do have $20. In case you were wondering. And actually, yeah, hold on. Yeah, you can do it. Well, you're not a beginner, but I already solved it. So the first thing you see may be something you're not familiar with. But that's also part of CTFs is knowing that you have the ability to solve whatever they give you, even if you don't understand it. What's gonna be the first one? I don't know. That's why I'm refreshing. Huh? I can't. So I will be doing a walkthrough through the solution.
for this one. So after you go to the link, okay. So so for the walkthrough, yeah, I'm gonna do a walkthrough.
Is it on?
Okay. So I'm gonna do a walkthrough for the challenge. So for the walkthrough, you need to decode this thing, and you will get to the link to the next one. So it will be, what is it? Secrets. Wait. Secrets. What is it? Soup. .html. Yep. So this is the second part, and it looked like a base 64 to me. So I'm going to go to CyberChef. It doesn't work. And from base 64, you get this one. And after that, that looked like ROT 13 to me. So I'll search for ROT 13. And flag easy peasy. That's how you do that CTF. Should be it should be simple, but it takes time to learn. You'll get used to it. And for we don't talk about that. So CTF could be either easy or hard. It could take you like more than a day to solve on one challenge, depending on how hard it is. But it's fun. So for my presentation, poking the bear. So what is active scanning or scanning? It's a type of scan where you will try to find a open TCP or IP port on the target and determine what kind of a application or version they use, so you could exploit that. Just want to make sure this type of scan is illegal, so make sure you have a consent before you do this or perform doing this. This is some tool that I feel like it should be very beginner friendly, kinda. The first one is Nmap. Second one is SendMap. I think it's similar to Nmap but with a GUI. Third one is a burp suit. It's for web hacking, proxy, or do fancy stuff. SAP, it's used to find it's a web stuff. You need to mess around with it. It's pretty cool. GoBuster, it's a directory brute force. Very cool. Fluff is it's like GoBuster, but a little bit more faster, but it's a little bit more complex. Not by much, but it's pretty cool. Metasploitable, it could use for both scanning and also exploit. Today we're gonna use three things, which is Nmap, GoBuster, and Metasploit. So what is Nmap? Nmap is a free open source to find a open port or version. And I don't know, you could see the picture at the bottom left, but um, at the bottom left there's the port that's open, which is 22, 80, and 443. And I have some useful flag at the bottom right, which is tech SV for the version, SC for the script for to find the more information, tag O for outputting file, and more stuff. GoBuster, it's a tool for brute force. So the way you use it, you have the GoBuster and give them like the what type you want to do. So like dir and tag U for the website you want to do it for, tag W for the word list. It's used for brute force. I will let you mess around with it later, but that's what they do. The third one is it's Metasploit. This thing could be used for hacking, and it's very cool tool. I think it's very easy to use it. You just need to get used to it. But yeah. Uh, and now I think everyone should have a V app in their IA lab if you want to log in. Yeah, if you don't have, feel free to do the attendance again. But yeah, it should be after you got the box, feel free to try to hit the target by using nmap, go buster, and this thing is similar to a CTF. This thing is a thing I made. It's you try to use nmap to find the open port, use go buster to find something on the web, and then maybe use Metasploit to exploit the thing in there to get root. Question? Oh yes, yes. So